Hey, what's up? It's KHG back again with some more Warhammer. Today we're going to do a top 10 list by MajorKill, the most grim, dark moments of 40k lore. First, I'd like to apologize for taking such a long break from making any videos, but during Valentine's Day I got back with someone important in my life, and I've had some other editing work to do, as well as trying to get the gaming channel up and running. This initially started off to be like a anything, everything channel, gaming, reactions, all that other kind of stuff, but I decided to focus this channel specifically on Warhammer. So, link in the description to the gaming channel. But anyway, we're here for some Warhammer, so let's get into the video. Alright.
G'day guys and gal. We all know that Warhammer is grimdark. Games Workshop basically say it every 3 seconds like it's some kind of Tourette's-induced tic for them. In recent times, however, some people might disagree. They think the current setting is too cheery, almost like a Marvel movie. And whilst I think there's nothing wrong with a bit of noble bright or even comedy here and there, I don't see that. 40k is still very much producing the nightmare fuel. From S&M loving nuns who pump themselves full of adrenaline, to an oversized uterus that demons claw their way out of, there is no shortage of lore that makes your skins crawl. Or gets you excited if you're a degenerate like I am. Before we get started, I'm throwing a 20% discount on all major...
Alright, we're skipping his promotion of merch and all of that kind of stuff, but, you know, visit his channel if you want to buy it.
It's from Get Out, unless you live in Canada apparently. Today we'll be looking at 10 of the most grimdark moments or themes in the lore of Warhammer 40k. This won't necessarily be ordered from most to least grimdark due to how messed up all of these are, but there will be some kind of ordering to it. As a wise person once said, one man's democula bar is another man's good time. Obviously, there is way more than 10 standout grimdark things in 40k, so if this video does well, then I'll make another 10. Let's get into it. At number 10, we have the Rejuvenation Treatments and the corruption of the elite class of the Imperium. In Warhammer 40k, you can receive various chemical treatments which restore your youth and can extend your life for a couple hundred years. For mega rich officials or important people, this is done by an expensive yet clean process. No one is hurt from you getting your erections back. However, for the people who have money and influence, but just not a crazy amount, they pretty much just kidnap young people and forcibly extract their youth painfully via their stem cells and bone marrow. They literally steal their youth. But MajorKill, stealing youth isn't really that grimdark compared to thousands of other horrible things out there in the Warhammer galaxy. Shut your youthful mouth, Timmy, before I break you open and drink your stem cells. Sure, shaving a few years off some kids isn't that bad compared to, let's say, being eaten alive by tyranids. However, it's the implications of it. The Imperium, the good guys, are totally chill about these horrific human rights violations as long as the planet is paying its taxes. They will overlook almost anything other than chaos stuff or xeno stuff as long as you pay your taxes. Kinda like real life. Corruption is inescapable. At number 9, we have servators. Servators are lobotomized slaves, kinda like androids. Now at one end of the spectrum, that isn't that dark. They can be lab-grown and cloned, or the lobotomized people can be murderers or rapists, so it's a fitting punishment. No point wasting good flesh on the electric chair, you know. But this quickly gets dark when you realize that a lot of the servitors don't fall into this category. Maybe they're just people in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe the planet wanted more servitors but didn't have enough rapists, so they started lobotomizing simple thieves or innocent people. Some Space Marine chapters turn their failed initiates into servitors. That's right. Not only do you fail to achieve your dream of becoming a Space Marine, but then you are horribly disabled from the procedure before finally being turned into a mechanical slave. This goes even darker as some servitors, if their creator has been a massive dick, still maintain their thoughts and consciousness, however their body's kept as a slave. Kinda like the Black Boots from Get Out. The use of servitors is practical and widespread, despite most people considering it a fate worse than death. Once again, the Imperium,
and that speaks to my just general weirdness about those floating skull things. I'm like, I know that's a human skull. Is the brain still in there? If it is, that is the worst, man. It's like, oh wow.
The good guys are the ones that do this. Number 8 gives us how overkill and painful weapons are in 40k. There are a lot of guns and melee weapons that people swing around like horsecocks that deliver the pain, but did you know that every weapon spells agony? Even the lasgun, a weapon you would think that would be pretty painless and clean, is horrific. A lasgun wound kills the nerves and cauterizes the bleeding. However, with such horrific burns, it would allow infection to set in and kill the soldier after a couple days of agony. During this time, it would take 3 to 4 people to look after the wounded soldier and carry him around. This was on purpose. Why make a weapon that kills someone instantly when you can make one that kills them after 3 days of them draining time and resources from the rest of their squad? There are other weapons like the chainswords and planet-killing biochemical bombs, but I highlighted the lasgun to show that even the most standard weapon in the Imperial Army was made with malice to inflict pain and suffering. Onto normal 7, we have the nuns with guns on drugs. Basically, when Sisters of Battle or other members of the ecclesiarchy do something really wrong, such as use common sense or question the fact that the Imperium is super religious despite the God Emperor of Mankind being a devout atheist, they are pumped full of stimulants that increase the pain they can feel, however prevents them from easily dying. Then they are crudely plugged into a walker which interfaces with their spine and makes them feel more pain. Then they're sent into battle like some kind of expensive zealot dreadnought. They also have zero front protection, as their faith is supposed to protect them, hence a very expensive unit can be instantly stopped by anyone with his gun and semi-competent accuracy. Because of this, for me this is more grimderp than grimdark. The Emperor thought shit like this was retarded, so obviously he's not going to give the self-harming faith machines any help. I guess I included it because I have this weird thing where I don't like watching or seeing attractive women get disfigured or violently killed. Is it just me? Like if I see a dude die in a movie or an ugly or okay looking girl die in a movie, then I'm like sure whatever, but as soon as a hottie gets her face torn off or gets her skull bludgeoned in, it really messes with me. So maybe the fact that the artwork and model for the female penitent engine featuring a very nicely shaped scantily dressed woman resonates with that part of my brain. I don't know, let me know in the comments below if your brain is as messed as mine is.
Okay, here's the thing, right? The whole design of the walker with the person in the front is stupid, and yeah, it's like that's a very expensive machine that can be taken out with somebody with a pistol, you know, just by hitting the controller in the head. That's crazy. And it's women? Why man, why?
Slapping down at number 6 gives us the simple yet agonizing process of refueling Imperial warp drives. A piece of technology capable of tearing a hole into hell then driving a ship through that hell to the other side is not going to be a friendly piece of technology. Hence, whenever a warp drive needs to be refueled, the people doing it are pumped up full of drugs so they can't feel pain, and then they're put into thick lead suits. They then walk to the warp drive, the suit crumbling around them as their skin melts and their bones crack. By the time they finish refueling, they're little more than a puddle of irradiated flesh. The rough part of this is that this task is often carried out by loyal guardsmen, good soldiers, not slaves or servitors. Hence the captain orders a moment of silence during this process, as it's more or less a funeral for the guardsman as he dies in front of his battle brothers. Why warp drives were built like this, and why all ships don't have special machines or servitors that can just do this instead of a guardsman is a mystery to me, beyond the fact that it wouldn't be grimdark enough. Coming in hot at number 5, we have what happens when a ship is eaten whole by a tyranid bioship. I saw an excerpt the other day in the 40k lore subreddit about this, and man, it gave me nightmares. Fighting tyranids already sucks, but at least getting torn in half by a tyranid warrior is a quick death. If you are unlucky enough to find your ship eaten whole by a tyranid bioship, then you're in for a way worse of a time. Basically, once inside the bioship, you are still safe in your ship for a couple seconds. Then the tyranids cut a hole in your ship and then fill the hole with acid. The acid is full of tyranid worms that help catch and kill prey. In the excerpt, the captain is immediately killed as the acid falls on him. One crew member kills himself with a gun, another gets his leg melted off by acid and then the worms devour them. Another one runs and swan dives into the acid, and the final guy tries to survive, which just ends up with him having the most horrible death of them all, as the acid burns away his legs as the worms crawl inside his mouth and eat him from the inside out. Funny to think this is probably how microbes and bacteria in our food feel. There they are, enjoying some mango chutney, then bam! It goes dark, and then a horde of stomach acid and other organisms come in and wreck their shit. Truly a dark world we live in. Number 4 is about the Dark Elder. Honestly, the stuff that the Dark Elder do could easily cover numbers 10 to 1 of this list. However, something that not many people realise is that the Dark Elder were what the Elder were doing just before Slaanesh was born, and they basically have a lot of intact ancient Elder tech, the kind of tech that can solve most of the galaxy's problems. This technology allowed the Elder to be the dominant force in the galaxy for 50 million years. It can cure all illnesses.
Next video is going to be on the Eldar. I have not explored them yet. Let's see what they do, who they are next.
Terraform planets, move around suns. They have stuff which makes Dyson spheres seem primitive. If they gave this out to different factions of the galaxy, it could genuinely win the war for the good guys quite easily, but they choose not to because it's funnier that way. Or if they choose to do it, they will do everything they can to make it more like a monkey's paw. For example, when various Craftworld Elder united to try and stop 2 major Tyranid hive fleets from meeting up and exchanging DNA, the Dark Elder sent them a psychic bomb, which was instrumental in winning the battle. The catch was that the bomb needed to be manually detonated, hence some Elder Farseers had to die and their spirit zones destroyed. In reality, the Dark Elder would have had about a dozen or other devices or weapons which have been way more efficient and not required the loss of life to use. However, it was a way better gag using this one. Down to number 3, we have another Dark Elder mentioned on this list. No surprise there. We have the Homunculi's experiments, most notably their creation of a Slaaneshi Elder hybrid. What do you get when you combine unlimited access to resources and technology with zero ethics? The Homunculi, Dark Elder scientists who are masters of genetic engineering and naughty voodoo. One such homunculi was more insane than the rest. He wanted to experiment on demonettes of Slaanesh, however, as demons aren't made of flesh and bone, but instead out of warp energy, any attempts to modify them had no lasting effect, and generally just ended in them being banished. Hence, the homunculi bound a demonette with an Elder slave, killing the slave. He then experimented on the demon Elder who was flesh and bone, until he created the cackling abomination. Imagine a stretched out Elder with the teeth and face of Pennywise from It. They give off an aura of insanity which infects people's minds, flooding it with laughter and dark whispers with the intention of driving them insane. If a cackling abomination catches you, it won't kill you. It will imprison you and cackle as it peels off your flesh, violates you and exposes you to the deepest agonies possible, before you finally die after constantly begging for death. By the way, the homunculi who invented the cackling abominations did so as a meme. Number 2 gives the democula bar. You know what this is, so instead of telling you what it is, I'll describe it from the perspective of the unluckiest person in the galaxy. Imagine you're a chick on a planet just chillin', raising your kids and trying to ignore how grimdark everything is. Suddenly, a ship drops into the system and large scary men in chaotic metal armor drop down to the planet, kill your family, your kids, your pets, and they take you prisoner. You're dragged into their ship along with various other women from your town. They drag you through hell, and you end up being on a dark planet in a cage. They then pump you full of steroids and other chemicals. Your body agonizingly grows enlarged. Your skin rips as it can't stretch fast enough. There are no painkillers. If anything, they deliberately make it more painful. Your lips are torn off by your ever-growing jaw. You are left in agony, naked, chained up in a wet pit in a dark room. They enter the room and shove strange organs inside you that make you sick. At this point, you're only kept alive through foul magic and chemicals. Finally, they insert adult males into your already destroyed uterus, where they gestate for some time, before they finally tear their way out of you. If you die, then lucky you. If you live, then you're stitched together and in goes another human. Big ooft. Fortunately, an Ultramarine and a bunch of rejected Iron Warriors without skin were able to destroy this project and mercy kill all of the democula bar, so there's that. Have fun sleeping. Whenever I read about or think about the democula bar, I just pretend that the girls taken and turned into these abominations were ugly bitches in the first place to try and cope with the inevitable horrific mental images that follow.
Okay, now I see why some of you say MajorKill is an a-hole, because what does beauty have to do with that kind of violation, and why do you feel good if the woman isn't as pretty as your taste? Yeah, thumbs down for that one. Good video, but thumbs down for that. Yeah.
Finally, number 1. Everyone is doomed. Every faction in 40k, bar maybe Necrons and Tyranids, are doomed to oblivion. For the Imperium, the Emperor's Golden Throne is failing. Once they switch it off, the Imperium will be shattered and countless will die. Now I did cover what I think would happen if the Emperor died, and there is potential for this to end up good, but knowing 40k and its grim darkness, it likely won't. The Elder are a dying breed, with the Craft Lords falling one by one, and the Dark Elder trying to stave off Slaanesh's claim on their soul, but are slowly failing as well. The Tower just one galactic sneeze away from being blown apart, and if Chaos wins, they lose, as without life to sustain them, they wither away. It seems that the Tyranids that we have already seen, and that have already caused so much damage to the galaxy, were little more than scouts ahead of a gigantic army that will consume everything. Or maybe all the Necrons will wake up before then and just vaporize us with their fleet of Death Stars. The biggest grimdark part of Warhammer is fighting against the dying light. This is also the most noble part of Warhammer, knowing that you will lose, maybe in 100 years, 1,000, 10,000 or more, but one day, either way, you will lose. Knowing this and choosing to fight anyway is why we love Warhammer and the Imperium so much. Knowing that they can give generations of people full, peaceful lives is what keeps people like Gilliman going, and I respect that highly. Warhammer is grimdark, that isn't changing. Whether it be its themes or straight up lore moments, there is plenty here to make you go, wow, fuck me, I'm glad that's not my galaxy. If you have other grimdark moments you want to share, then let me know in the comments below. If this video does well enough, I will do a follow up and probably base a lot of the next 10 grimdark moments in that video off your comments here, so make sure you thumbs up if you want to see that. And that does us for today guys, 10 grimdark moments or themes in Warhammer 40k universe. If you enjoyed the video, want to support the channel, and want to cleanse horrible mental images from your brain, then Patreon is the place to be, where it only costs one.
Okay, there he goes with the sell of his hentai porn thing. Anyway, that is a good idea. If you have some grim, dark, messed up things that you know about Warhammer, please leave them in the comments. I would like to make one of the videos too, and I will feature your comment on the video. Like, this is by such and such, all of that. Anyway, I don't really have too much to say about it. Like, he went over some grim, dark, messed up, disgusting things that they do in Warhammer on a regular basis. And wow, the monkey lover, yeah, that is some horrific stuff. But anyway, you could have been watching anything from anyone, but you were here with me, so I thank you. Till next time, I'm KHG. Peace.
You need help.